The name Jimi Hendrix is so ubiquitous when talking about the electric guitar, it can be easy to overlook or even take for granted his various innovations on the instrument. But I had a listen to some Hendrix for the first time in a little while recently, and yeah, you know what? He definitely got something, hasn't he? So we're going to look at a little bit of Hendrix today, specifically some cool ideas he often used when bending strings. And as this is a technique I know some students do struggle with, I'll be going into quite a bit of detail here in terms of how to get the best results out of these, I think. So if you're still a bit new to string bending and you really like detail, I hope there'll be some stuff of value here to you. Okay, so we have here a vaguely Hendrixy groove in the key of E that goes like this. And our first lick is a real old chestnut that goes like this. Let's look in detail at what's going on there. Okay, so we are up at the 12th position on the neck and we're playing notes from the E minor pentatonic scale, or I suppose E blues scale a little bit. You'll see what I mean. So the phrase, nice and slowly, goes like this. So what's happening there is we're doing a small bend at the 14th fret on the G string. This A note, we're just bending it slightly sharp, kind of almost into this B flat note to give it that kind of blues scale vibe, but we're not even really bending it that far. We're just slightly sharpening the note and then playing the B string and then the E string at the 12th fret. We're then pulling off from 15 to 12 on the B string and just repeating that until you've had enough. Hendrix could milk an idea like that for quite some time, and then another little bend at the 14th fret on the G string, and then just play the regular note and then finish at 12 on the G string. And if you're confident, add a bit of wide vibrato there as well. So simple enough, but there are a couple of things that can go a little bit awry here in my experience. With a bend like that, even a really small one, it's crucial that you get the coordination right between the hands. So what I mean by that is this. You want to make sure, first and foremost, that you pick a good note before you bend it. Don't let the left hand get overexcited and start bending before you pick it, because then you hit a sharp note going in and that really lingers on the ear. So you want to play the note just as is, and then add the little ornamentation of the bend. Now, when you bend up here, because it's such a small bend, you can probably get away with just doing it with one finger. You might notice I'm just using the middle finger here before reaching back with the first finger for the next bit. And when you get to the top of that bend, you want to make sure the next note in the phrase immediately takes over from it. What you want to try and avoid is the note kind of collapsing back in on itself, because again, we get an out of tune note kind of lingering on the ear there. So you want to make sure you're picking strong on the A note going in, bend up, and then there's a stop. You can do that in a couple of ways. What I normally do, if I'm playing, say, the bend on the G string and then the note on the B string like here, the right hand is often kind of leaning on the G string to mute it when the B string takes over. And for the ending there, exactly the same thing. Make sure that you cut the note off at the top of the bend. So I'll play that over the groove again. Lick 2 then is a real vintage bit of Hendrix, and it goes like this. Let's look at what's going on there. Right, so once more, nice and slowly, we have... Right, so what's happening here, we are bending up on the B string at the 15th fret. And we're bending up a tone. But you might have detected there's a bit of tomfoolery at the top there. So what is happening, at the top of that bend, the third finger is shifting its weight over from the B string on to the G string. You'll probably find... if you got the angle correct there, and you bend up on the B string, the G string travels up a little bit with you. And a correct angle will help you mute the G string on the way up. You might have noticed I'm kind of leaning a little bit with my index finger curved round. That mutes any of the other strings there, so we don't get other strings ringing out with it. So at the top of that bend, we move on to the G string, pick the G string, and bring the bend down. Little bit tricky to get the coordination right at first, of course. So just take it real nice and slowly and try and keep the grip as steady as you can. Hotel California fans will recognise that bend as well, of course. And then after we've done that, we're going to pick at the 14th fret on the G string. And then get this kind of raunchy double stop at the 12th fret, both the G and the B strings. And we're just kind of pulling them sharp, again in a similar kind of bluesy way to in the last lick. And again, similar to the last lick, make sure you pick, then bend, then stop when the bend is kind of at its peak. You don't want to hear the bend kind of collapse. And then finishing off with another little Hendrixy trademark. Apologies, you do need a whammy bar for this to work, but it is a way Hendrix would often bend strings, so I thought legitimate enough. So we are just simply repeating this little pull-off from 15 to 12 on the B string. And while that's happening, we're just gently depressing the bar. And once again, make sure you stop the note cleanly whilst it's still bent. I don't think it sounds very good if it kind of comes back. Well, it doesn't sound very Hendrix at the very least. So. And there we go. Let's have a go at lick 3 then. Lick 3 then, we are venturing elsewhere on the neck, and it goes like this. Let's break it down. And nice and slowly then, we are going. So again, pretty simple ingredients here, but there's a little bit of ornamentation going on. So we start off with this very straightforward open position kind of a thing, where we are playing the G, the 3rd fret on the E string, and yet again we're just adding a little bit of bending to it. We're not aiming for the next semitone up or anything like that, we're just bending it slightly sharp. And yet again, make sure you cut the bend off when it's at the top. Don't let that kind of a thing happen. So we've got, and then the open E, and then the open B strings. Then we're going to do exactly the same thing, but the bend is going to be at the 3rd fret on the B string this time. We're then going to move down to the 2nd fret on the G string, and I'm going to do something a little bit unusual. I'm going to move down with the 3rd finger because I want to add a little bit of support with these other fingers for the bend that I'm going to do. Now, we're really embracing a bit of dissonance here. We are bending at the 2nd fret on the G string. We're only really going up about a semitone though. And we're including the open B string as well. So we get this very kind of dissonant clash. No bad thing though. And then we release the bend and come away into a pull-off. And then land on the D string at the 2nd fret. And then there's one more little thing there. We're going to go just kind of an extra little resolve. I'm going to play the open G string and I'm going to bend it behind the nut. So I'm going to reach back with the 3rd finger, with the 1st finger, and just push down on the 3rd string there so that it sharpens. And we're going roughly up a semitone. We're doing that kind of typical blues thing of going into the major 3rd, which in this case would be G sharp. And then resolving to the E note again, 2nd fret on the D string. And yet again, there's a bit of a coordination element with that bend. Make sure you don't let the listener hear you let go of it. You want the note on the D string to have taken over by that point. So we're playing that note before we're releasing the pressure with the index finger behind the nut. So we get... So there we go, a few Hendrix-style bending licks for you to try out. Really hope there was some stuff of interest there to you. If so, please consider liking and subscribing and so on. And I'll see you with something else very soon. Cheers.